To get off of the intermediate plateau, you need a daily English routine. But what if you are tired and busy and you don't know how to best improve your English? In this episode, I'll show you a specific daily routine that makes it feel easy to practice English every day. Hi, I'm your English coach, Christina, and welcome to Speak English with Christina, the best place to become confident speaking business English step by step. And this is lesson 2 of our special mini-series, Get Off the Intermediate Plateau with Virtual Immersion. Now, to get off of the intermediate plateau and to get you to a more advanced English level, my secret weapon is a virtual immersion in English. And it's super powerful because it helps you to practice lots of English all day, every day, with lots of short, easy to do activities to be much more regular and consistent so that you switch your brain to English. And remember, consistency is key. And it helps you create your routine for enjoying English, remember things better and faster, and also just feel more confident and comfortable using English for your work and for your personal pleasure. So let me give you an example of one daily routine that makes it feel easier to do English, even if you're busy and even if you're tired. I totally understand what that is like. So, I do a lot of these things in my own routines for learning German. And like I said, to be honest, like running a business, that takes a lot of time and energy. But routines like the one we're going to see, that's how I make it easy to fit language learning into my busy day. And this has helped a lot of my own clients as well. And so I'm sure it's gonna help you. All right, let's get into it. So for this routine, we're going to use one main resource to keep it simple. We're going to take the example of a podcast in English. And this works with any podcast that you can get the transcript for. And this routine includes both those natural learning exercises and deliberate learning activities. Now, I'm going to tell you what to do step by step. First, choose a podcast in English that has the transcript available. And I have some suggestions of good podcasts over on my blog. Link below the video for you. First step is to just listen to the podcast as you prepare for your day. This is natural learning. You're just listening to hear the sounds, maybe catch a few words, but don't worry if you don't understand very much. It's okay. Then, when you sit down for breakfast and your morning tea or coffee, read the transcript and just look for some useful expressions. This is very natural learning. You are picking up vocabulary in context, or at least right now, just identifying some new vocabulary that we'll work with later. Step 3, before you start your workday and everything gets crazy, listen to your podcast again. This time, try to hear those new expressions in the context. So the expressions that you highlighted during your breakfast, try to listen and catch them. This is very deliberate practice. Then you have your work day. It's very busy. You have a lunch break. I hope you have a lunch break, even if it's a short lunch break. But during your lunch break, take a few minutes and make some flashcards with some new vocabulary. Maybe it's, you take, 3 minutes to do this. Again, you're doing some deliberate vocabulary work and creating a tool that's going to help you. Step number 5, at the end of your day, you can relax a little, I hope. When you're doing that, listen to the same podcast again, And again, just notice the expressions that you learned today and maybe try to pay attention to the pronunciation also. Again, this is deliberate learning. You're listening with a very specific purpose and training your ear for comprehension and pronunciation. Then later in the evening when you're relaxed and, at home, doing your thing, just try to write a list of the vocabulary that you learned today. Try to do that from memory. See if you remember all of your words. You can check with the transcript or your flashcards, but just quiz yourself and see what you can remember. Then I definitely suggest this as part of your virtual immersion program, and it's to have a conversation partner or a teacher to talk about the topic of the podcast. Try to use the words that you wrote in your list so that you are repeating and using and actually acquiring these new vocabulary words so that they stick in your brain. And then to finish your day of immersion in English, take a few minutes before you go to bed and maybe write what you learned today. You can keep a daily English journal. You can write the list of vocabulary words, but I would recommend maybe trying to write the vocabulary and use it in context. You can write a story. You can just write, this is what I learned and this is why it's important to me. And the good thing with this journaling, you don't have to be correct. No one is going to read it. No one is going to judge your grammar, but you're just consolidating and, let's say, helping your brain to stay in that English mode before you go to sleep. And we know that lots of interesting, fun things happen in your brain while you're sleeping. So if you can end with English, that's great. Now, that might sound like a lot, and maybe you are Superman or Superwoman, and you can start doing all of that right now. And if you can, congratulations, but if you're like me, or if you're just a normal, busy person, it may be easier to create that routine progressively, trying to do one thing first, get that in place, and then add a second activity or a third activity. And you don't have to do all of those activities every day, but you do have to do something every day. But the idea is that it's realistic and it's feasible and you can do it. So on my blog, you'll find lots of links and activities and ideas and everything you need to make it easy and enjoyable to really start doing virtual immersion every day in English. And you'll see that, you don't have the time or maybe right now even the possibility to go and live in England or the US or Australia or any English-speaking country to physically immerse yourself in English, but you can virtually immerse yourself in English. Now, the next steps for you. Subscribe to my channel, please, so that you can get lesson number 3 in this series, Get Off the Intermediate Plateau with Virtual Immersion. And you will learn some ways, next time, in the next lesson, you'll learn some ways to instantly upgrade your business English to sound more advanced and more confident. And if you like the concept of virtual immersion, but you're thinking, I'm just too busy for this, I can't do it, then please go and watch my lesson on how to find time for English. I hope that it will inspire you, and I will see you in the next lesson.